I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about the illusion of attraction. You know, when we start talking to somebody new and we're getting to know somebody, we can feel overwhelmed. Like our body has chemical reactions. Our brain releases chemicals like oxytocin and dopamine and serotonin and different things that makes us feel amazing. We're so excited. This new person with so many possibilities, and you start to think about, what it'll be like if you're dating this person and if you're really physically attracted to them. It just hits us on this deep level. But attraction is often an illusion as to what will really happen or what is really there. It takes time to get to know somebody and to know how they truly will be as a partner. Because I see time and time again, attachment issues start to come up after the lust kind of fades. When those chemicals start coming down in our brain and coming back to normal, we start to, go from that lust and excitement and passion to more of a bonding. And that's where all of our attachment issues come up. And so if you don't work through your own attachment issues, you're going to start turning people off and you're not even going to know it. Okay? You're not going to see it. You're going to be blind to those things because maybe you've been hurt in certain ways. And so you will start to do things to overcompensate in those areas. And that goes for the same as your partner or the people that you date. Their attachment issues are going to come up. So this is why Margaret and I and Coach Victoria are really trying to emphasize the importance of understanding attachment and mental health with dating. Because if you don't have a good understanding, or at least a solid understanding, you're going to wind up dating people that get depressed and break up with you. Or they're not truly individuated from their family and their family sabotages the relationship. And it won't really lead to something meaningful. If you're looking for something meaningful, you gotta understand attachment. Now, if you just want to go out and casually go on dates with people, that's a different situation, right? That's a completely different scenario. Of course, behaviors will turn those people off too, like certain behaviors coming on too strong and such. But understanding attachment is absolutely critical to having a healthy connection. Because your needs and your partner's needs are going to be very different. This is why I did the workbooks and the creative healing course. It's all to help enlighten you. It's meant to help you work through your own issues to get healthier, to see these mistakes that you've made. And I guarantee you will see a lot of mistakes you've made and learn new skills to replace those old behaviors. Those changes make a massive difference in having a great connection with somebody, okay? If you're only caught up in, this person's giving me attention, and I like that this attractive person is giving me attention, and let's be honest, it does feel nice to get that, you're not going to get anything past that, and it's just going to fall apart, and 5-6 months in, you're going to wind up in a breakup, okay? So I've got a good email coaching here that's going to show what I'm talking about. Don't beat yourselves up. Because nobody teaches us this stuff, okay? It took me years to figure this stuff out, and I'm always still trying to learn to teach, to better myself as a coach and to teach you guys. But you have to be aware that a lot of the times when people are coming on strong, it's these fantasies of unmet needs that they're really projecting onto you, who in many cases, the situation, you're like really strangers, right? So let me get into this email coaching. They said, "Hi, Coach Craig. I was recently dumped by a woman I had been dating for 4.5 months. I'm more of an anxious attacher and she tends to be more avoidant. We're both in our mid-20s and met at a coffee house a few years ago. We had gone on a few dates after we first met, but she wasn't interested in a relationship, so we parted ways. About a year later, she contacted me wanting to meet up, and we started talking more. We started dating about a month later, and things seemed to be going really well. We said, 'I love you,' a little over a month in. A month. That's too soon. Okay? You can disagree with me if you want, but this is my opinion. That is way too soon to be telling you or telling somebody that you love them. Okay? If you have a newborn baby, totally understandable. Tell that baby day one. But if you have a new partner, don't tell them after a month. You don't really know that person yet. You really don't. That's the illusion. That's the chemicals being released, that you're like addicted to this person and it feels amazing inside your body. It feels great. But how do you really know somebody after a month? You're like strangers, okay? She brought up the idea of getting married after about 2 months. 2 months. We went on 3 dates a year ago, but man, after 2 months, I know I want to spend the rest of my life with you. It's completely unreasonable and unrealistic. And you can disagree with me if you want, but if you do, you're going to wind up with a broken heart. I'm telling you, it takes time to get to know somebody. If you rush, you're going to get hurt. He says, "I wanted to take it a little slower. How about a lot slower, okay? How about a lot slower? But she wanted to get married in 6 months. 6 months, okay? We're not talking about a 35-year-old woman who has to decide sooner than later that she wants to have children for biological reasons. We're talking people in their early to mid-20s here. And she wants to get married in 6 months. Let's see how well this goes. We talked about it a lot over the next few weeks. So a brand new relationship that's only been going on for maybe 3 months at this point, and you're spending most of that time talking about marriage. And she told me she had never been more sure of anything in her life. I don't even know what to say to this. I mean, you barely know this guy, and I'm not knocking you because he might be a great person, but she just doesn't know you, and she's saying, "I want to spend the rest of my life with you," and we've been together for 3 months, and you've never been more sure of anything. Okay. It took me a bit of time, like 3 hours? But I eventually came around to the idea too. And we started planning that way. The relationship was mostly long distance as we lived in separate states. So how often were you even seeing this woman? But she was interested in moving to where I lived, and she was planning to quit her job and move there a few weeks before the wedding. This is not going to go well. This is an illusion. You don't know each other. You've hardly spent any time together because of the length of time, And she's living in different states, so how often were you even seeing each other? Long story short, after making wedding plans, looking for a honeymoon venue, and buying a ring, she one day told me that she was no longer ready to get married yet. After making the wedding plans, looking for a honeymoon venue, buying a ring, oh, and she had never been more sure of anything in her life. Now she's not ready to get married yet. Well, there was no doubt in my mind that she really wasn't ready to get married because she really doesn't know him yet. And you don't know her yet either. And that she was planning to stay in her area for at least another year and continue her career there. So suddenly she went from, I want to plan our life together, to this isn't working for me, I'm going to stay here for another year and continue my career. I offered to move there instead so she could pursue her career, but she said that she wasn't ready for marriage and she wasn't ready to come up with an alternate timeline. She still told me, though, that marrying me wasn't a matter of if, just when. About a month and a half later, she broke up with me, telling me that she just wasn't interested in dating me anymore. Well, isn't this a huge turn of events? A month and a half later, now she's not even interested in dating you. She went from, I want to marry you, I want to plan our honeymoon and our wedding, I'd never been so sure of anything in my life, and what, 2 months later, I'm just not interested in dating you. One of the major issues that we dealt with toward the end of the relationship was that I was ready to get married and wanted to be able to have an idea of when we would get married. For example, next spring, summer, etc. And that she didn't feel ready to do that anymore. Yeah, but it's not healthy for you to be wanting to marry her either. And when she did this to you, this should have been a huge eye-opening moment for you to think, well, wait a minute. She just said she wasn't ever so sure of something, and now she doesn't even have any interest in dating me. This played into my second problem, which was that there were a lot of distrust on my end after she changed her mind so quickly about getting married. Yeah, okay, good. So you did have the healthy emotional response, which is good. Because it felt like she had gone back on her word, which she did, and I was afraid commitment was never going to come, which it probably wasn't. Although, it seems to me like you have a lot of anxiety yourself, that you're worrying about, oh, commitment's never going to come with a brand new relationship. It's not like you guys have been together for 3 years and you're like, boy, is this ever going to happen? So that's a reflection of your own attachment issues that you got to work through. Because somebody's secure, if you found somebody secure and they heard this kind of behavior, they wouldn't be interested. They'd lose interest real quick. I mean, that's just the truth. They see this kind of behavior and that you're trying to lock them down, and they're going to be like, what are you talking about? We just started dating. I guess the main question I'm dealing with is, what happened to make her feelings change so fast? If it's something I did to cause it, what are your recommendations on correcting that behavior so I can be a better partner in future relationships? Okay, what happened here is that you guys fantasized about who each other was going to be, not who each other actually is. It takes time to get to know each other. People in the early stages of dating are very different, even a year in. You don't know how somebody's going to be. They take you for granted. They have habits that get on your nerves. They have, quirks that annoy you. Maybe they want a lot less space than you, or a lot less intimacy, or maybe they want a lot more intimacy. There are so many different reasons that it takes time to really see how you're going to navigate with somebody. This is just fantasy. You don't know each other. You're probably very attracted to each other and felt a strong initial connection, but that changes when you get to know somebody. And when it went from that excitement of the planning and all this fantasy stuff to something more real, it scared her. And that was the healthy thing, because she should be scared to marry somebody she's not known very long, or be planning a wedding with somebody she's only known for 2 or 3 months. I think it's really important that you work on your own attachment issues, and that you have enough self-worth that you take your time to get to know somebody. You're not desperate for somebody to marry you or lock you in, or that you can lock down because you're afraid to be alone. It's causing you to do unhealthy things. And I suspect she was avoidant and came on really strong because all these fantasies that she had, and then it became very real for her when all of a sudden she has to pick up and move states and leave her career or leave her job and all these things and worry about your needs. And that probably overwhelmed her too. So there's a lot going on here, and I see a lot of breakups similar to this. This is why you've got to really do the work. And so many of you will lose interest in your motivation when you think your ex has moved on. I see it like clockwork. You think your ex's interest has dropped, so your interest in really changing drops. And then guess what happens? Your ex comes back and you haven't really changed, or you meet somebody new and you're going through another breakup with somebody else. You gotta do the work. The videos that I put out with Margaret, especially in our Be a Master in Relationship playlist or Understanding Attachment Styles playlist, are the ones that really have tremendous amount of substance. But many of you guys just watch no contact videos. Ain't gonna get you far. It's not gonna get you in a relationship, in a healthy relationship where you're turning things around. And it's gonna lead you going back to making your same mistakes over and over again. I warn you guys, I try and tell you, but you're the ones that have to do the work. When you get those workbooks, do them 30 minutes a day. Review your answers from the day before. Reread them. Rewrite them. If you do the workbooks, you can do them again. You can change your answers. You can go back and watch certain videos over and over again. The Creative Healing course is huge. Absolutely huge. There's homework assignments. There's cartoons with questions related to it. There's an activity called The Story of Your Life, which is like 40 pages long. It's broken into 4 sections. There are whiteboard videos. There's audio affirmations. There's all kinds of incredible stuff that will truly change your life. I really wanted to put out something that would truly change your life and change your dating so you'd have an amazing relationship. Sometimes I share those stories on my Instagram. I don't talk about that. But if you look at the highlights on my Instagram story, you can see what some people share with their experience. Do the work. You don't want to continue meeting people, blindly dating, and then watching everything fall apart. I grew up in a home where both my parents were married 3 times. Okay? My mom was married 3 times. My dad was married 3 times. Fortunately, my dad's 3rd marriage lasted 30-something years until he passed away recently. But I have been truly impacted by attachment and trauma. And I see this trauma that happened in my family and things that happen. So that's why it's so important for me to help you guys see these things so you can start a family or have a partnership with somebody that you work through those issues and it's healthier, and you're a lot less likely to get a divorce and put your kids through that, because it's not fun. Many of you guys probably grew up in a home where your parents were divorced and you had to see them half the time or rarely or whatever the situation was. The more you can understand how to have healthy relationships, the better off you're going to be. You'll understand your friends better, your partners better, your family better, your coworkers better. Trust me, it's kind of like Neo at the end of the Matrix, where he doesn't see people anymore. He sees the blips and the green and the numbers and all that stuff, because you see things so much clearly. But you have to do the work to get there, okay? So stay motivated. If you have to use your current ex as the motivation, that's fine. But ultimately, you really want to make the changes for yourself because, like I said, exes come back all the time, sometimes even after a year, sometimes after years. I'm not saying to put your life on hold, but you can blow them away. If you do that work, either you're going to have another chance with your ex, or you're going to do amazing with dating other people, and you're going to be a lot less likely to make mistakes with all the awesome new people that you get to meet and spend time with. And I'm here for coaching. You can always get my help at askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Of course, you can get Margaret's help too. Just click on Margaret on the top of the website. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon. To get my help personally, go to askcraig.net and click on Schedule Coaching and choose the option that works best for you. I do email coaching or Skype. To schedule a coaching with Margaret, click on Margaret on the top of the page and order a Skype with her. For the Knowledge Creative Healing course, click on the link at the top of the page and click Get Started Now.